Many thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Good Morning Namibia right here on NBC. Now, Namibia was ranked the fourth highest suicide country in Africa in 2020 and the 11th highest globally. Suicide is said to be the second leading cause of death among people between the ages of 15 and 29. This is according to the World Health Organization. A founder of the National Mental Health Care Namibia, Cathy Kambanda, says mental health issues are of concern to old and young, stressing the need to raise awareness on how to promote good mental health. She now joins me with more on how her organization aims to reduce the number of suicide cases, including other mental health issues. A very good morning to you, Cathy, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Thank you.
Cathy, at the pre-launch of your organization recently, you mentioned that mental health issues are of concern to young and old, stressing the need, of course, to raise awareness and promoting good mental health. I wanted to get your perspective, firstly, on the state of Namibia's mental health.
Well, the state of Namibia's mental health is a great concern because, poor mental health does not only affect a person's ability to live a fulfilling life and carry on with their normal work, school, or family responsibilities. It also leads to a lot of physical and social problems with very serious impacts. Those serious impacts being either people leading to suicidal thoughts, people leading to release their anger or frustration on things like gender-based violence, harm to yourself and harm to people around you. So it's a very serious concern.
Very much indeed. What would you say is at the very core as a cause, for the mental illnesses that we see in the country?
Can you repeat that question?
What would you say are some of the contributing factors to the state of mental health that we see in the country?
Financial problems, financial issues, depression, trauma, abuse, corporate bullying, breakup with family, breakup with loved ones, or heartbreak, All of these issues lead to serious mental health issues because, if your heart is unhappy and your mind is unsettled, there is nothing that can bring you to a place of focusing to do better, whether it is at your workplace, at the school, or even at home. Yeah.
Many have argued that, number one, perhaps we're not giving this issue enough attention, and number two, not enough assistance exists to help those who are having mental health issues. What is your take on this?
Yes. I'll give you a practical example. I think our country only takes things seriously when it gets out of hand. For example, COVID. It had to get out of hand for the government to step up, for the public to step up and start taking safety precautions. So why should we always wait for a time when a thing is at a breaking point before we can actually know that this awareness is serious? We need to raise this awareness. So I think I'm past that stage of sitting back and thinking, how can we deal about these mental health issues? And awareness, yes, awarenesses are raised. People have social media talks about mental health awareness. You know how boredom those things can be. Some people don't even sit and listen to those live streams anymore. How can we deal with the issue at hand, the individual, with the community member? Practically. Yeah.
And how can we deal with this issue practically, Cathy?
Speak up. Speak out. Put a voice to your pain. Put a voice to your trauma. Put a voice to your depression. Put a voice. Let us hear and know that there is a problem at hand. Because it first starts from the individual. We as an organization can only step in and help when somebody realizes that, look, I need help. I think I'm at a point of end of life and I'm about to hit that tunnel. I need somebody to help me from this stuck position to unstuck and just let me see that life is worth living.
Yeah.
So put a voice to it. Speak up. The organization is here, National Mental Health Care, and I'm sure there are many other organizations that are there that are willing to help, listen to you without judgment, whether judged is unjudged, and you come and find a place of escape. So I think that's where, for me, it should start there.
Very much indeed. Well, one of the biggest issues, around, mental health and ultimately suicide, etc., is, of course, the stigma around it. And, we've had people in studio a number of times, repeatedly talking that we need to break down these barriers, that we need to break down these walls of stigma around some of these issues. Cathy, as a nation, do you think that we have the capacity to fully understand and assist those who are in need?
I will tell you no. I just spoke up, I think, 3 months ago, and I put a voice to my trauma. I came out public and I let the public know that I was raped at the age of 13, and I suffered from suicidal thoughts. I suffered from depression, and all of these issues. Before I got to my place of healing, I was unable to help anybody or help myself. And now I'm in a position to help somebody because I've been there. I've been through all of this given titles. However, it somehow puts a stigma on you, and you get those public or people that will come and say, "Why only speak now? Is she using is this a story that she's making up to try and get a crowd?" So all of these things, if you're not strong and bold enough, they will affect you and take you back to that place of pain. It will take you back to that place of depression. So the nation as a whole is not in that space or in that state of mind where we need to stand together and support each other to fight this together. Yeah. Support is the starting point. And obviously not making anything a mockery.
Very much so. Cathy, talk to us about, some of the functions and activities of the National Mental Health Care in Namibia, and of course how you aim to address this issue.
All right, we are having a National Mental Health Care launch where we will be officially telling everybody what our organization is about and to offer the nation help. I always say I could have launched this organization with friends and family like everybody else does, but this is a national problem. Mental health is serious. So the need to raise awareness is now. So we have a boxing exhibition where we will be having Harry Simon versus Meroro standing against Box Out Suicide. No. Milton Huro OCF known versus Leonard Witbien, hashtag Box Out Depression, and Mr. Paulus Ambunda versus Paulus Moses, which is known as the Hitman, Box Out Ray. So we have this event on the 23rd of July in Swakopmund, and we are using sports as a vehicle to address mental health issues. Yeah.
There's this perception that, many of these interventions, many of these activities, are based in the urban setting. And if you look at it statistically, a fair amount of suicide cases, a fair amount of mental health issues can be found in the rural parts of the country. Just how big of a priority is that to you?
Well, our organization is within all 14 regions. And our focus point is definitely these rural areas where we go out and speak to the individuals on the outreach. So, of course, they are the highest yet, and they are closest to our heart. Should we get more partners partnering up with us. I mean, also the public coming up to assist with this fundraising that we're having, we will be able to reach those rural areas and tackle the situations at hand.
Very much indeed. Cathy, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for using your voice to fight for the voiceless. Thank you for the activities that you are engaged in, and thank you for your sacrifices. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate it too.
There you have it, Cathy Kambanda, the founder of the National Mental Health Care, talking to us this morning about the very concerning, very alarming issue of suicide in the country. Of course, Namibia ranks very highly, fourth on the continent and 11th globally in terms of suicide rate. Of course, this is a matter that needs to be addressed, and these are some of the organizations that are busy, of course, addressing this matter. Do stay with us.